Hello, my provocative public, and welcome to another red-hot episode of Hey Qween, with me, your host, Jonny McGovern. Today's show is going to be pumping. Our guest is no stranger to the Hey Qween studios. He's been part of the Hey Qween family for years. You've seen him hump and grind on many of our guests. And after his appearances, honey, we need to get the Sparkle couch dry cleaned. I'm talking, of course, about the one and only Eddie Danger. But before he shakes on out here, there are two dangerous kids you need to meet. It's my emotional support orchestra, Mr. Adam Joseph and Mr. Erickatoure Aviance.
Hey, 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 Qween.
Oh my gosh, the sensuality of it all.
Ooh, I'm feeling a little vapors today in the air.
Erica, you're like a sensual cupcake come to life. And you like a cupcake at Sade's house.
Ooh, well, I do have a little bit of a sweet tooth, and I am a smooth operator.
Yes, you are.
Johnny, I noticed your look, and I just wanted to compliment you on making the varsity team.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I did it, guys. It only took 40 years. I did it. I'm a fullback at the junior college level.
All that soccer practice paid off.
Finally did it. What sport has a fullback? I'm not sure. I'm sure everyone on the team appreciates a Tyra Banks and Joan Crawford pin. I'm masculine.
They make you look super, super butch.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Does this help too? Erica, we have a panty dropper on the show today, so I hope that you brought an extra panty ruffle.
Well,
I did!
Oh, thank goodness.
All of my panties are ruffled, actually.
Well, I'm glad you have your panty ruffles, and I hope you have an extra pair because we have Eddie Danger on the show today.
Yes.
Hit it, Emotional Support Orchestra.
ooh, it's Eddie Danger. He's sexy as can be. Get ready, cause he's about to come on Hey Qween.
Eddie Danger coming right up after this very gay break. Our guest today has humped and pumped his way into the hearts of our Hey Qween audience and into the minds and beds of some of your favorite RuPaul's Drag Race stars. Please welcome the one and only Eddie Danger.
Ooh, it's Eddie Danger. He's sexy as can be. Get ready, cause he's about to come on Hey Qween.
Hey, Qween.
Yeah, hello, how you doing? I am about to come, let me tell you. I'm all happy to be here in Los Angeles. It's so beautiful.
You finally escaped. Have you done any traveling at all during the quarantine?
Well, I just, my own vacations. I decided to take retreats by myself, because I had like all these frequent flyer points from traveling around and carrying on that I never got to use. So I went and spent some time at a nude beach and got in touch with the real me.
Oh, okay. Because Eddie, you do have a little bit of a double life because during the day, you're an IT specialist working for a shady government agency. And at night, sweetie, you are Eddie Danger, the lap dancer, stripper, and, drag race love object. All the drag race queens love you.
Yeah.
They all think you might want to sleep with them.
Yeah, it's been a nice journey through this industry. I've had a really great time.
Well, Eddie, let's just get right to it. It's time for the tea.
The tea.
Now, Eddie, I personally know your tea because you've been part of our Hey Qween family for years. But when I look at your Instagram stories, sweetie, all I see is questions loaded from your fans who are wanting to know, what's your tea? What's your deal? Who do you like? Who don't you like? What are you into? What will you do with me? Asked the fan. Do you want to take this opportunity on worldwide television to give some clues to your many fans on what your own journey through sexuality has been?
Something that I think I've had to deal with for most of my life. It's kind of, I wasn't all the way gay, and I couldn't understand that. The sexuality aspect of my life, it was just, I think I was like overall just scared of men, and I said, you know, I'm doing this stripping thing. It's a side hustle. It's fun. I'm having a good time. I get to do all these weird acrobatics on like iron chains with my cock and asshole flapping in the breeze. And I had a really great time doing that, but I had such a negative experience with men. So I stuck with women throughout, and I would just date, and I wouldn't be ashamed of it. I would, like, girlfriends would come to the club that I worked at, and people thought that I was gay baiting, which was a big deal at the time. Chasing the pink dollar, you know? And I think what it took for me is I was always a huge fan of drag. And I hung out with the drag queens nonstop backstage, and they just kind of took me in, and I was like, this is my family, this is my people. They have like double personalities, they choose who they're planning to be. And I think I had to kind of carve out my own identity because I'm thinking, well, I don't feel gay, and I certainly don't feel straight because my whole life is gay. So what do I do here? And I think I was just getting beaten so badly by these folks that were kind of misogynistic. We'd have the bachelorettes coming into the bars, and they'd be like, they'd say all the slurs about women, and I don't know, it took years, but I came to terms with the fact that it's proudly pansexual. I'll say it in this camera, proudly pansexual, and I think everybody needs to love whatever the fuck they want to love, you know?
Yay! Now, we've known that for years, Eddie, but I wanted to give you a chance to answer it for the people.
Absolutely.
So that, first of all, they can all stop asking you the same damn question over and over.
Yeah.
And second, now everyone knows that anyone has a chance.
That's
it's
true.
even more amazing.
I'd like to think so.
Now, Eddie, you have gotten close to so many people in the drag world, us included, but a good friend of yours, James Mansfield, recently made something in your likeness that you've become obsessed with.
Yeah, James is a really good friend of mine. I call her all the time to talk through problems, and we share a lot of the same sense of humor about things, and I was really taken by that big moment when I could do my lap dance with the puppet for her episode with Jonathan Kidder. I love that guy so much. And anyways, so we were just talking about something, and she surprised me one day. She had created a puppet of myself, and would you like to see it?
Yes, I would.
Excuse me. Let me just, she got all the details right, too.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if you have to root around in this hand so he doesn't look. Okay, there you go. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
Oh, Eddie, how are you? Who's this weird bearded man with you?
That's my dad. So I was going to give you a lap dance over here with the puppet.
Oh, it's COVID. Back up, you little
Right.
puppet.
Yeah, he hasn't been tested. So anyway, yeah, it was super nice, and she's like a really great craftsman. I got to tell you.
Now, have you used this in any of your live dancing gigs, or did this happen after everything shut down?
It's happened during COVID, I think. So it's I haven't had many opportunities. I brought it into some webcamming.
You did?
Yeah.
Because if the audience doesn't know, I mean, you're a go-go dancer, you're an IT government worker, you are a adult film star, you have your own Just for Fans, so you have a lot of people with a lot of eyeballs on you at all times.
A lot of eyeballs, yeah.
And so you said, let me bring this puppet in.
Well, yeah, the webcamming thing's a little weird because there's a lot of downtime in the middle, and there's a lot of like kind of creepy people that just like to watch, and you watch those numbers go up 300, 400, and a ton of people are watching you, and they won't tip, so I guess I kind of got into the habit of just spicing it up with my own entertainment. So I'd wear like a Mickey Mouse head and jerk off for a while to see if I could get any people that were into that shit. It didn't really help, I don't think.
I love it that you have to, as a webcammer, thing, be like, what can I do? Oh, Mickey Mouse head, a puppet of myself. Is there anybody out here that likes this?
Exactly. Yeah, and you get kind of desperate. You're just like, where are the tokens, you know? And I don't know, they come eventually, but it is a struggle.
Adam Joseph, you're always sitting around asking, where are the tokens?
Where are the tokens, honey? I guess everything comes eventually.
Yeah.
Yes, they
That's
do.
what she said.
Hey! So, Eddie, put your hands in the air, sweetie, because it's time for us to go back in the time machine. Whoa! Oh, here we are in Cleveland, Ohio. And there's little Eddie Dangerous skipping his way to school. Tell me, what were you like as a kid, Eddie?
I've always been a weirdo, and I know I'm a handful, that's for sure. I started to find out this performance aspect of me early on. In like middle school, I was the school mascot, and I got to be a huge fan of Kiss and all that fun stuff where they're putting on makeup and doing this larger-than-life personas, you know? And that was always a huge thing to me. I liked characters and obviously puppets and things that were just not really human, you know? So kind of that. I got in a lot of trouble when I started to figure out that I was a little bit odd, you know?
In what way?
Well, I don't know. Like, I would ask questions. I remember going to detention because I questioned the existence of God. And that was a weird time, having that. I went to Catholic school. And
I could have guessed from them sending you to detention from questioning the existence of God that only happens at a Catholic school.
And also, they stuck me in an in-school suspension where I was like sitting there reading books and copying biblical passages because my shoes weren't tied. So it didn't turn me into one of those types that kind of like follow the rules. It just taught me how to work around them, you know?
Now, your parents were quite intellectual. Your dad is a research science with a doctorate in physics. Your mother, masters of science. How did that influence how you were raised?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of. I don't think there's much of a relation, to be honest, between all that stuff. For being blood relatives, I don't really see a lot of the. I see the curiosity that my father had. He was restless. He's always into weird shit. He's learning how to stain glass, or he's like building a boat or something. And he's he discovered some crazy thing that he's got patents on. So I don't know. I just have the intellectual capacity, but not for anything useful. Well, I mean, gender politics is kind of useful, you know, in my life. But I think when you think about, like, you know, the practical side of life, they said you need to go to college and get yourself a job. You're thinking mathematics. I'm more on the liberal arts slant, you know.
Right, because you went to college, but you spend most of your time writing poetry and playing the guitar and playing the drums.
Yeah, well.
What was your parents' reaction to that? Because I'm assuming they would want you to follow in their footsteps.
I think they just wanted to be me to be somebody they could brag about. I think that's what it came down to. And I mean, look at me now. I don't think anybody's bragging about me.
Oh,
but
come on. You know your mother is in her doctorate lady meeting. She's being like, oh, your son's doing what? My son is in the top 0.1% of Just for Fans. I mean, it's 2020. That's a very admirable thing to be doing.
you know, I wish they thought the same way. Yeah.
Hello, children. Click here. Click here. And subscribe. You're welcome.